And I'm back. I got something to drink, and I probably should have opened it before I started talking, but I got my feet. My Martinelli's. Okay. Now, it's still extracting the ports, and the ports are huge, and I guess I should talk about the ports right now. And perchance you don't want to figure out what package source is, or go through the exercise of watching me fail to install them on NetBSD, at least in the videos that I have up right now. What they do is the ports are a collection of scripts, and basically that allow you to change directory. And oh wow, installed already. Change. I'll just keep talking for a little bit. Change directories into user ports, and then the type of program you want to install, say editors, and then the name of the program, say Emacs, and then to CD, all that, and then you type make install clean. It'll download that package for you, compile it, and install it, so long as there's nothing wrong with the port itself, even though things change. So they update these things all the time, and the install is huge, and I think there's probably about 20,000 packages up there. I mean, you're not going to be short of apps, at least by comparison with Linux, when you're using FreeBSD. What you may be short of is compatibility in some areas where special tools are used to allow you to do things you normally wouldn't do in Unix, such as, but that's not always going to be the case, and such as using Wine, but again, Wine with CodeWeavers. But CodeWeavers has, and I shouldn't have spoke so soon, because I now remember that CodeWeavers has a beta version of Crossover Office available to it, and so I haven't checked to see how it works, but I think I will during this. It's a little. The last time I used FreeBSD, and I couldn't tell you for certain if it was a release version or a current version. It may have been current, and in that case, I was using an experimental setup, but I had to pass an IQ test just to be able to mount my USB drive, which is not something they would want, but it worked, and so the criteria for them is if it works, and so would I like to configure any Ethernet or SLIP PP network devices? Now, in this case, it was clear to me as the user doing the install that I would be able to, and easy for me to install the entire ports collection. The name of the game with NetBSD is once you're in, you got to be able to set up your network card first and foremost, which could be problematic if the driver doesn't work with the card you're using that well, which I did find out with my video. And then you got to download package source. Now one argument is that, well, that's the latest stuff. You're probably going to want to have the latest stuff, but sometimes if it's not too far away, you'll be okay, and if something fails on you, then you can always do an update within FreeBSD, and it takes a lot less time than having to download the entire tarball and then unzip it, where this, you know the command to unzip it, where this, it downloads it for you, unzips it for you. It doesn't download it for you, it's on the CD. You don't have to go looking for it. There is an option in BSD, you can look for package source on it, but it just isn't going to work. I came to the conclusion 2 years ago when I was successful with NetBSD that I was just going to always use package add and never even bother with package source, and that's probably the way to go with NetBSD. I mean, to me, it's a package source could be a savior, but I found it to mostly be problematic, and I hate saying that about the users there, but I had to go back to my blog about using the ports and package source in Haiku, and I tried to repeat what I had done before, and using the exact same steps I did, it failed. So something had changed about the way package source was put together in the latest version, and we're on one computer down there. I've got a working package source, at least in a broken fashion, but I can get it on this one, at least not yet. Who knows if I'll do a video to struggle through that. So let's configure our Ethernet card, and it's detected both of my cards. Right now I'm using the gigabit card. I don't care about IPv6, frankly. I don't want DHCP. I just want to give it its own host name. So I'll call this YouTube. Call it whatever you want. A host is of your own invention. That's of your own dimension. It has no impact on your experience on the internet when you're in an isolated local area network. If you're going to go take this thing live on the internet, you may have to have your domain, actually your registered domain, DNS domain name. But I think if you're at that level, you're not going to be watching this video to find out what it is you need to do to get FreeBSD working. And I'll be frank that FreeBSD is more mature than NetBSD in the way that you don't have to kludge your way around to figure out how to get yourself up and running. Right now I am grabbing the master computing guide from behind me to find out the IP number of our DNS servers, which I have right here. And yes, I did write this with likes. I know what the gateway is, so I'll put that in first for us. Now the name server I don't know, but I'm looking over. That's the same thing as a DNS server, domain name server, 64.105.172.26, and the IPv4 address, all it means is what's your local IP number you want to give yourself. And since I gave myself 205 over here at my new computer temporarily, I'll just give this one 206. I don't think any other options or any other computers using that IP number, and then I just say OK. And I want to bring the interface up right now, and I don't want this to be a gateway. I configure netd. I think, okay, remember from Ubuntu over here, and netd is basically the way it works a lot like Ubuntu. When the computer boots up, it has all these different configuration files in etc. initd, and then based on how they're configured, those services will start up when the computer starts. So if you want to have an Apache server running, you ought to have some kind of configuration file in etc. initd for Apache. Most desktop users, which I'm pretty sure is going to be my audience, shouldn't really care about this. But what is ambiguous about this question, at least to me and my perception and my unfamiliarity with the installer, to a certain degree, is that I don't know if this means that I'm not going to be able to use. Do I want to use my network card? It doesn't look like it, but I'm going to be safe. Number single internet service to be enabled. Okay, there we go. Enable. Why not? I'll do that. Yeah, netd.conf. It's like yes to invoke an editor. No, I'm just going to use current settings. Okay. Do you want to enable SSH? I'm not interested in that as a desktop. Do you want to have an honest SPT access to this machine? No, but I could change it. I don't want to be an NFS server. NFS is just another way to mount shares on a server. And then do you want to customize my system console settings? I think I do on that. And what the system console settings are, and this is important, is how the command prompt behaves when you use it. And I want it to have autocomplete for one thing. The default system has a number of according to your preference. You know what? Maybe I'm worried about the term maybe. don't touch anything. Yeah, I'm not touching nothing. I don't know what the fuck that means. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of this. So the time. This is some shit. I don't know if it's CMOS. CMOS is the thing when you first boot up. If it's set to local time, you don't know. Please choose. No, I don't know. I'm choosing no. America North and South. Where am I in? I am in the United States. Of course, they got a. No one. I don't think any. Well, maybe someone in Suriname is installing this, but who the hell knows? And this is Pacific time because I'm on the West Coast. And yeah, PDT looks reasonable. Does this serial or bus mouse? Now, right now I have a USB mouse as far as I know, but I do have the option of sticking a little converter on there. Have to. Whoa. Go back. What the fuck? Okay. How did I press enter? And yeah, I'm using USB. And the BIOS wouldn't have detected that. I may be in trouble on that. Package collections. Would you like to browse the collection now? Yeah, I would. Okay, so this is where it is. To mark a package, I'm going to press space. Okay, let's see. Audio utilities. Oh man, I've got a problem because I've got a little piece of junk stuck in here. Oh, good. Put this thing upside down. Bang it, Sylvie. Package name, come on. Get out. Okay, maybe that might work. Shooty squirrel. Oh, great. Part of a piece of a MasterCard. Like I care about using anybody's MasterCard anyway. Okay, cancel this. Because I hit something by accident. I'm going to go into audio, and I know that I want... Man, these are a lot of things, but I think... CD Paranoia lets you rip MP3s from a CD. Then we got Zero to burn CDs. There's FAD. This has something to do with I don't care about. And now where it says got a D there for dependency, that means it's dependent. I'm going to stop.